In a fresh move to strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their royal titles, MP Bob Seeley, representing the Isle of Wight constituency, has said that in the next couple of weeks he's going to present a Titles Deprivation 1917 Act amendment bill to, quote, strip the Duke and Duchess of Sussex of their royal titles. In English, that means he's going to present a proposed piece of legislation, known as a bill, to amend an existing piece of legislation, which is the Titles Deprivation Act 1917, which was primarily brought about to provide the monarch the power to remove titles from members of the royal family who were sympathetic towards the enemies during the war. Now, whilst it has to be said that this is an individual MP's bill, proposed piece of legislation, they are very often highly unlikely to make their way all the way through Parliament to become law, usually because Parliament has a lack of time to consider such things. However, what this does say is that there is such an ongoing frustration that certain constituencies, such as the Isle of Wight, have their MP present a bill committing significant time to drafting a new piece of legislation with pretty much the sole purpose of removing titles from someone who is bringing the royal family and the monarchy into disrepute. Mr. Seeley said in a piece for the Mail on Sunday, quote, "I'm not a Republican and support the monarchy, but after the latest instalment of the couple's feud with the rest of the royal family, I believe that Parliament and the Privy Council should consider a nuclear option. The Duke and Duchess can be Mr. and Mrs. like the rest of us. My Titles Deprivation 1917 Act Amendment Bill would allow a vote in Parliament to advise the ancient Advisory Privy Council to strip a member of the royal family of their titles." He goes on, "My aim is simple. If someone doesn't want to be royal, that is a decision we respect. But they should not keep the titles and privileges if they trash an institution that plays an important role in our nation's life." However, when an individual MP brings a proposed law to Parliament, there is a ballot. More about that in another video, or a past video. I've done many videos on this subject. And unfortunately for Mr. Seeley, his was not drawn, so he doesn't have priority in bringing this forward as a proposal. This makes it more unlikely that this is going to pass through Parliament due to the lack of time, etc. However, it does mean that if it did make its way through, it would amend the legislation and provide the power to remove these titles from Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. So in case you've seen that floating around in the headlines, it is both possible because it could make its way all the way through Parliament and become law, but at the same time it is very difficult because an individual MP's bill very often do not get the time to be considered in Parliament. And if they don't get the time to be considered, then they don't make their way through the readings and obviously do not become law. I've covered that in many other videos. If you have questions about that, drop them below. I'll link up the previous videos so long as I remember. Remind me if I don't. But let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you think that if they have stepped back from royal duties, they don't want to be part of the ongoing royal family duty anymore? Should they have those titles and privileges removed? Of course, this is all alongside Prince Harry's arguments with the Home Office to have automatic security when he visits the UK as a member of the royal family. I've given my views, both sides of that argument, over on Black Belt Secrets, linked below. Pop over there and hear my true views on that, because I'll reserve my true views for Black Belt Secrets. But in the meantime, let me know what you think. Make sure you like the video, please, because that helps to grow my channel, and I'd be very grateful if you subscribe. And as always, I'll see you next time.